What's up, y'all? I'm back. I had to go take care of some business right quick. I had got fixed and I had to take care of some business. Um, hey man, y'all kicking me in the Karma Cafe. I want y'all to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. If you coming in here, man, let me know where you coming from, city, state, Providence, all of that. Just let me popping in from. We about to get this thing started. The first one we gonna do, we about to react to is Unc and Ocho Nightcap. Uh, we're gonna talk about that. Well, hold on, let me see. Let me see what else we got to work with right quick. Give me a second. We like Unc and Ocho over here. They some good. Mm. Let's see about hold on. So let's just see, bro. Like what Uncle Ocho talking about. Y'all check out
Meet the
Nightcap.
Dell PC with Intel Core Ultra. With all-day battery life to power through your to-dos, so you have extra free time and extra savings. Which means this Black Friday, you can be as extra as you want.
Talk to your healthcare professional about Ozempic, like I did.
Come on with your favorite sport. Sunk here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Game, Brandon Albrecht, 42-yard field goal as time expired. Jalen Hurts after the game, we got to find a way to finish the game, and we got to find some consistency in what we do. Definitely to tell the two halves. In the end, we didn't play a complete game as a team, and it got us today. We've got to own this one. It's let that light of fire in us as a team and stay together and move forward. A.J. Brown been trying to tell y'all this. Eagle fans, A.J. Brown been trying to tell you what happens when the defense can't bail us out. You cannot run the football. You're going to win games moving forward on Jalen Hurts' arm. Now, he got some pressure that he doesn't normally get.
Yeah.
Lane Johnson is a big out.
Mm-hmm.
The center, Jurgens, Diggy Zula was whipping ass inside today.
Yes, sir.
But with the exception of one game, Saquon has not run the ball this year. Saquon had 10 carries for 22 yards.
Yeah. Hey.
Jalen Hurts had 7 for 33. Bigsby had 1 for 8. So that's 18 carries for 63 yards.
This is gonna be like this all season long now.
You had two turnovers. The defense was balling. I was sitting there and I started to tweet. This, but I did.
What?
They had the ball 2nd and 17. They just run the ball, pick up 4 yards. Hey, how about trying to go for it and try to get 9 or 10? Now we got something manageable.
Mm-hmm.
You run the ball into the line of scrimmage, and now it's 3rd and 17. I think A.J. Brown or somebody picked up 12 yards. Mm-hmm. Now, if you'd have picked up 12, if you picked up 5 or 6 yards before, and now come back and get the 12, now you got a first.
Man. All right, y'all. About to cut the nightcap joint, and we're gonna see what Tisa Tales is talking about with this David thing, because I like these updates.
Hey guys, breaking news in the David Celeste Rivas Hernandez case.
So this 1 day ago, so we already pretty much went over this, but I want to see what she has to say.
Have allegedly found the freezer that Celeste was stored in. I repeat, it looks like
I don't necessarily believe that right there. I don't necessarily believe that.
TMZ has obtained pictures of the freezer that Celeste was stored in. If you guys don't know, the more and more details we get about the Celeste Rivers case, just to let you guys know, it looks like an arrest is imminent, okay? And it's not just going to be one.
They're not going to be able to arrest nobody in this case, bro. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But what I'm saying, ain't going to be no arrest made because they don't have the accurate evidence to actually put this man. The only thing they really can get him for if he was actually intimate with a minor, like, and they haven't locked him up for that yet. So I'm just like, I mean, when are y'all gonna lock this man up? Like,
one, they are saying it is going to be multiple people, at least two, because the police are convinced that David did not and could not do this alone. They have a second person, and they are hoping that second person flips on the other people that were involved, okay? But let's get to the thing that everybody was very saddened but not surprised to hear. Okay, it has been confirmed that she was dismembered. She was decapitated. It was just her torso and her arms and limbs were chopped up. Actually, it was very, very grotesque, okay? One of the reasons people were wondering is, how long has she been missing, okay? The family says it's been for more than a few months. The police can't really get a timeline, but everybody said, okay, she was found badly decomposed, but if it's badly decomposed and it was smelling, how long could it have been? Well, the shoe that dropped was what we all suspected. She was frozen. Her body was frozen somewhere, and we believe that.
Okay, we know that now. We know she was frozen, but they said the way that she was frozen, it was a special type of freezing that was done to her body that would have, because I have seen many cases where people have been frozen and they've been able to find out everything that happened to them, the reason why, whatever went.
Was taken to the impound lot, everybody just completely backed off. Okay, everybody was wondering, where's the freezer? Well, it looks like TMZ has obtained pictures of the freezer where Celeste Hernandez.
So if y'all didn't get no pictures or if y'all haven't got any kind of concrete evidence that her DNA is inside this if y'all don't have any type of concrete evidence that her body was not in this freezer, I wouldn't put this report out. So I hope y'all have the facts to line up with this freezer theory.
May have been held. Let's get into this. Okay, so TMZ is saying, and this is directly from their sources in the police, the house David rented had a freezer, and cops focused on storage of Celeste Rivers' body. They said David, the suspect in the presumed homicide of Celeste Rivers, had a freezer large enough to store a body. A relevant fact since her body had been apparently frozen for months. Now here's the one question I do have before we go on. If it was frozen, do they have anything from the video that they turned? And if not that video, what about the video on the street? You know what I'm saying? If they took him out of the house in two. They said, check out the photo of David's rental home. It was taken a few years ago, and it shows the kitchen had a KitchenAid refrigerator freezer. The freezer side of the appliance was the height of around 74 inches, and width of around 14 inches, and a depth of roughly 27 inches. The temperature can get as low as -8 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes me think, remember how they raided and they didn't find any signs of blood anywhere? Because I would imagine it's very messy. Yeah, well, get this. What if what actually happened is they froze her and then they did it? Which leads me to believe is David a serial killer? Because I will say one thing. This was something very planned out. This was so, first of all, we all know that David had a gore fetish. Like, we all know he had a gore fetish, right? You look at his videos, for God's sakes, he had a coffin going around him. Was Celeste in the coffin? I'm being serious. At this point, we can think anything, but all jokes aside, right? That wasn't a joke, but let me just get back on track. Well, let's go to the side track, then we'll go on main track. Maybe they stored her, and then when she was frozen, because he researched how to make sure that something can't be found in an autopsy. It does not escape my attention that what he did and the way he did it, he didn't ever expect them to be able to make an ID of that. And if she was decapitated, does that mean that they couldn't even tell whether the victim was male or female? Does that mean that they don't even know where her head is? My whole point is, if he did freeze the body and then cover up, that means like was she the first victim? He's a little serial killer. To research this and do this, yeah, this is crazy. Anyway, they said Celeste was 5'3" and 120 pounds. TMZ broke the story that her body was found in a bag in David's Tesla. It was decapitated and the arms and limbs were cut off. So it could have fit in the freezer if the shelving inside had been removed. By the way, they said a torso for a 5'3" woman falls between 15 and 17 inches long and 14 to 15 inches wide. Mind you.
So this is looking like it's speculation, because like I said, if you don't have her DNA inside this actual freezer that you're alleging that she was in, this is all speculation at this point.
They said, we do not know if police have zeroed in on the particular freezer, but as we first reported, the body was partially frozen when it was found. This is after an extended period of time in David's trunk back in August when it was hot in LA. The LAPD executed a search warrant on the home shortly after the body was discovered. Let's also not forget that the body was wrapped in plastic. Again, for everybody saying, oh, well, I think it was an accidental OD. Yeah, and I have a bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you. This was methodical. This was planned out. This isn't like somebody accidentally died and everybody freaked out. They're like, oh my God, what do I do? Do you know how much effort and energy it takes to butcher something, an animal, a human, any?
Yeah, if they dismember her body, that takes a whole lot of effort. It definitely does. Hold on, y'all. Let me put this on. I had to go handle some business. Big business.
Do you know how much energy that takes? Do you know how much energy and manpower it takes to remove the shelving, shove somebody in, come back, wrap them up, pick them up, frozen or whatever, take them somewhere, cut, chop. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of psychoticness, it takes a lot of cold-blooded. Even if you panic, there are so many layers to how they panic that let you know that they had so many times to come to the senses. That this isn't something that happened over hours or even days. This was months. On top of that, I really do think that David did some sort of search to find out how to make a body undetectable, the cause of death undetectable in an autopsy.
Whether you file dozens or thousands of forms, Yearly simplifies the process for businesses of all.
Let's see somebody go to his Corn Hub account. Somebody like literally, but they did take laptops, so I wonder if they did get like his favorite stuff. Anyway, they said there's also a video that resurfaced on social media from September 24th showing David in the house, not his rental, with an appliance box behind him. The box appears to be a convertible chest freezer with a removable storage basket. It has a capacity of 7 cubic feet. By the way, they said the last video of Celeste that we've seen is from September 2024. We don't know if the freezer has any connection to the case, but the timing is off. Remember, authorities say David went to a remote area in Santa Barbara in spring
I got
2025,
the money
and that's
to
where they
pay it.
believe Celeste's body was dismembered. As reported, authorities believe the body had been frozen for an extended period of time. Again, don't forget, TMZ did break the story that David took a trip to a remote area in Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night last.
Okay, so he took a trip to Barbara County, and if they find anything in that area that is dealing with this actual case with Celeste, that would be a big help. But him going to wherever he went, like you have to put the pieces together as an actual, somebody that's, in this.
And spent several hours there. A source with knowledge says authorities do not believe Celeste was ever buried in Santa Barbara. They believe her body was actually chopped up there. One source was.
So they went to Santa Barbara to chop the body up and then put it in the car. Yeah.
Not Lawless tells TMZ 1:30 is David and an accomplice who is also suspect may have taken the body there, dismembered it, and then returned to LA where it sat in the freezer for months. If that were the case, the question, why did the body end up in David's Tesla? Or how did it? There are various theories, including David was no longer staying at the house because he was on tour, and other people were staying in the home who could have discovered the body. Again, this is just one theory, but we're told LAPD is methodically putting a timeline together to determine what happened to Celeste. Listen, let's also not forget that it was reported that there was a brand new cutting tool found at the rental that didn't belong to the owner, probably used anyway.
So that's my first time hearing about a cutting tool. They're saying there was a brand new cutting tool at the residence that the actual owner did not own.
Guys, there was a lot of stuff. Now, the power tool, the saw, whatever, that I think was reported by Stephen Fisher. It hasn't been verified by the LAPD. I am assuming that most of the things TMZ is reporting has been reported by the LAPD. But yeah, this case is getting darker and darker and darker. But one thing is true, David, no, even his whole tour. When people start doing really sick stuff, I know people are like, oh my God, it's art. But I think we need to start really looking further at it because he had a lust for it. He had a curiosity for it. And I think he acted on those sick urges. But again, until an arrest is made and the police have a timeline, or David confesses, or whoever it is, we won't truly know what happened, but God willing, we know something soon. Anyway, you guys, let me.
Hey man, I check out Tisa Tales. That was Tisa Tales channel we just reacted to. This channel right here is official.
Introducing Luxury's Most Wanted.
Official DRS.
QX80 and QX60
Official
Sport.
DRS.
The starter for their afternoon tilt on Sunday against the Niners. Sanders will make his second consecutive start, and Kevin Stefanski said the first thing was to win, which Sanders did obviously against the Raiders. Next thing now is improvement, which will be one game better. In his first start, Sanders went 11 for 20, 209 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, leading the Browns to a big win, obviously, over the Raiders. Shador became the first Browns quarterback to win his first career start since Eric, is it Zaire? Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Zaire
Yeah.
in 1995. Take
Yeah.
a bit a minute, okay? That's all we're going to say. But what do we expect to see now from Shador Sanders on Sunday against the Niners? Just pointed out how Saleh can really coach defense, so a bigger challenge, we would assume, than what we saw in the Raiders. CC, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. I think Shador Sanders had some good things to build on in his first start. Being able to push the ball down the field, the off-schedule throws to Isaiah Bond and Jerry Jeudy, those are things to be lauded for. The other thing that we got to point.
The off-schedule throws are immaculate.
Now, only 1 sack in that game against the Raiders.
Huge.
That's big. Max Crosby,
Huge.
that Raiders defensive front, they can get after quarterbacks. The fact that he's not constantly retreating out of the back end of the pocket and putting himself up against it against NFL caliber pass rushers, that is a positive. Now, of course, it's going to be uneven.
Yeah.
He got fooled with the zone pressure. Charles Snowden ended on start. The kind of time that they've given quarterbacks in the past, this Cleveland Browns passing game led by Shedeur Sanders can carve you up. So I'm not going to take it as a fait accompli that the San Francisco 49ers go into Cleveland and boat race the Browns.
Okay, what do you think, Stephen A?
You are.
I think balling out is a bit too extreme. I don't think we saw enough from Shedeur Sanders to say that he's ready.
Okay, we ain't see enough, but we seen enough. Bro, fuck all that. We seen enough. We seen enough, bro. We seen enough. This is a quarterback that needs to be in the NFL and needs to be, I don't know if y'all already know. I put the short out earlier. Shedeur Sanders is actually the number one quarterback right now. They picked him, and he gonna be playing for the rest of the year to see what he was working with.
Ready to do that against the 49ers team, which is obviously much, much better than the Las Vegas Raiders. But what if he's just better than what we saw last weekend? I think we'll be satisfied with that. I think that would be an upgrade. I think that would be something that can build, and they could potentially.
What if Shedeur Sanders play well enough to where they get I think they can get a wild card. I think if they can get a wild card and he can go in there and mess around and get in the playoffs, I don't know. I mean, that's all I can say.
Make some things happen. We missed Jerry Jeudy on a couple of occasions. I saw Jeudy we didn't get him the ball. But outside of that, I'm looking at him and I'm saying, you know what, against this 49ers team, that's, again, is good, but in the same breath, don't have their two elite guys. If he goes out there and balls and look better than he did against the Las Vegas Raiders, I think that would be a huge plus. I don't expect him to play lights out, go for 300 or 400 yards or anything like that. But if he's...
But what if? Because, I mean, hypothetically speaking, what if? What if he go out there and turn up on the Raiders? I mean, not the Raiders, the 49ers. What if he turn up on the fucking 49ers and he's better than his debut game? It's gonna be trouble, dog.
In the 200-plus yard range, and he's throwing the ball efficiently and not just
coach of the year might get fired.
Turning the ball over, I think that's a plus, and I think that's something to build on.
Yeah, listen, I fully agree. With Steven, I think when you have these conversations about expectations on quarterback, keep them realistic, right? Like, think about Lamar Jackson just coming back and the way he's played these 3 games being banged up, right? He hasn't been like a world beater, but he's finding ways to win, right? The most important part of QB play is not giving
Is finding out the way to win the game
away. I thought that what Shedeur did, they haven't done all season. In one game, Shedeur had the 3 largest completions in the Cleveland Browns in all their games of the season. He had a 66, a 52, and a 39-yard completion in one game. So he pushed the ball down the net. One's a quick screen out. I get everybody's like, oh, it's a screen. Well, guess what? Stafford those screens too. Quarterback, and that's what your job is to get it to the playmakers, allow them to go make plays. But the part that you said, CC, that I loved is the sacks. And I think what I would say is a negative in college at Colorado, he was under duress. I mean, let's be honest, like, there were some days where them boys were just coming through the games, and he was running for his life and making the moment for me didn't seem bigger than Shedeur Sanders in that, and that's the most important thing. He's not going to go throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns, but the expectation.
How do you know that, though? Like, that's why I said these people be putting their mouth on people. And it's like, The game hasn't even happened yet. Let's wait. Let's wait till Sunday or whenever they play. Let's wait till Sunday, the next time they play, and let's see what happened, bro. Like, let's be real, y'all. Like, you got to give people a chance, bro. You got to give them a chance. Got to give them a chance.
It shouldn't be that. It's growth, right? It's Caleb Williams was the first pick of the draft last year and played every game. This is the dude's second start. Relax, just look for small areas of growth, protecting the football, getting in your playmakers' hands, try to stay on time, right? Let that defense do what they can do so well, and hopefully they keep you in the game and you make it a game. But man, listen, did he absolutely light it up? No. But man, it was his first start in the NFL, and he did plenty to listen.
Take the next step in treating your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis with Entyvio, the only gut-focused.
The right to start the next week. That's the most important thing Shedeur Sanders did, is he earned the right to start again. He played better than Gabriel has. He gave the Browns a win. All of those things should be massive checks in the pros column. I just respect the way they went about it.
Quickly, you have a comment, or are you good?
Yeah, I think it's important to also note that Shedeur Sanders has put on tape the ability to be able to push the ball down the field.
Yeah.
And that's going to impact everybody on that Cleveland Browns offense. That running game with Quinshawn Judkins and Dylan Sampson and that offensive line,
that's going to be crazy.
They'll have a chance to get a little more room to operate because defenses now have to play the Browns offense a little more honest.
Amen.
When it came to what Dylan Gabriel did over a 6-game sample size, he's throwing the ball 5.1 yards per attempt. Shedeur Sanders in this game against the Vegas Raiders, 10.4 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
He's doubling
the
yards per attempt in the passing game.
And explain on the back end what that means so people understand what that does to DBs and the whole concept of.
Well, in its simplest terms, the team is going to keep two safeties back deep as opposed to one safety back deep.
Right.
So you're going to have lighter boxes to run the football against. And with that hard-nosed running game, then all of a sudden you can feel some excitement about the direction that this Cleveland Browns offense is going to go in.
Yeah.
The one thing that we also have to bring up, the last thing that we also have to bring up is this: it really means nothing from a standpoint of, okay, this is this season, this is what this is. But since 1995, 17 different quarterbacks started for the Cleveland Browns. None of them won. Shedeur Sanders is the first to have done it. Why does that matter? Because somehow, some way, along the way, and we've talked about this with various quarterbacks throughout NBA history, that it factor, somebody else may have it when others don't. And when you look at the Cleveland Browns and their history of futility, particularly at the quarterback position, even when Kevin Stefanski arrived in 2020 and was now on his 13th different quarterback, you do want someone to come along and you're able to say, yo, that's the one. And that's what everybody is looking to find out about Shedeur Sanders.
Definitely. And to your point, Jeff, too, like when you talk about the rookies, Cam Ward not played great. JJ McCarthy.
Cam Ward has played better in the month of November.
Sure, but I mean,
This is
his second start. It might take a minute, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, against the Niners this Sunday. Let's stay in the AFC North because yesterday Zach Taylor announced that Joe Burrow is likely to start on Thursday for the Bengals on their Thanksgiving Day matchup against the Ravens. Now, Burrow has been out 9 games with a turf toe injury. With Burrow as the starter, the Bengals won their first 2 games. They've won only 1 game since. Wow. So Burrow posted this on his IG yesterday with the caption, "He's back." Interesting. The jersey's an interesting choice. Can the Bengals, with Burrow under center, go on a little bit of a run here and get some things done?
Absolutely. Joe Burrow has won 6 straight games in his career before. I absolutely think it's on the board for him to be able to do it again. And here's the deal. They lost a game on Sunday to the New England Patriots, but didn't lose ground in the division.
Right.
The division leader was 3 games up in the win column, and guess what? Sitting here today, the division leader.
That was that about your boy. We about to look at some I Am Coach Colin. I've been watching them. I kind of got on him after, I was watching Candace Owens and things of that nature after the whole Charlie Kirk thing. So But check out this I Am Coach Colin video. Let's see what he's talking about. Hold on. See what he's talking about. Y'all go check out I Am Coach Colin. COLIN. Colin.
He's proud to donate millions of dollars.
I Am Coach Colin. COLIN. That's who we're reacting to.
Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. What's going on, guys? We are getting into some information. More Candace info drops. It is Monday today. She did not do a show. It is very odd, but I am positive I heard that she would not be there Monday on her last stream. So it seems a little odd, but that was actually what was supposed to happen. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be digging deep into who this National Gendarmerie Intervention Group is, as well as the French Foreign Legion. We're going to be digging into that, touching on what Candace has to say. A few people who support Candace are coming through with some very substantial, I guess you'll say, evidence. They're coming forward and they're saying that it makes a lot of sense, and they're confirming that what Candace is saying is true. Okay, so we're going to get into all of that. And the reason that we're getting into these organizations is because a lot of people are feeling like this is just kind of coming from left field. This doesn't really make any sense. And as I dig into this, and then also know what Candace was doing in regards to Emmanuel, the French president, you're going to start to see that it does make sense what she's saying. What she's alleging does make sense. On top of that, she's saying she has names of people. Now, here's the thing also that we're going to be going through, is that it's completely possible for her to have the names. And I'm just realizing that as I'm talking to you, names of FFL. Just a reminder to actually bring that up. It is possible to find out the names. This organization is not as secret as we would be led to believe, but what they do is very secret. And then on top of that, I have a couple of sources here that don't want to be named, and I'm going to be reading what they told me. One of them has a relative that is very high up, or at least was very high up during a certain presidency, and that person did have to deal with the FFL. So let's get into it.
I don't even know what the FFL is.
Just for anybody who's catching up, Candace did release this urgent message, urgent in regards to anybody who cares about Candace, saying that there is a hit out on her. The French president put it on.
So basically, they're saying this. Candace Owens put it out. They're trying to do something to her. So they got a hit out on it. If something happened to Candace Owens, bro, I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be crazy, bro, because people are gonna start putting two and two together. Like, if something happened to Candace, they're gonna start. It's gonna peel the layers back, and things are about to be exposed. I'm trying to tell y'all, man.
Her for reasons that are very obvious when you watch the Brigitte saga that she released. Not one season, but 2 seasons she made of this deep dive, and it was the deepest deep dive I've ever seen of anything. It was wild. So it kind of makes sense there. But again, who we're looking into, because she says the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, I am told that there is one Philadelphian that is on this hit squad, and their plans were formalized. So that is one group we're going into. And then if we go further down here,
they said they was drinking on that Grand Marnier when they said they're gonna do this to Candace, and that's sad, bro. You got people drunk with power and want to take out a voice in America is disgusting, bro. Like, And for the U.S. government not to be protecting her and, making sure that she's safe because of her free speech inside of our country, and another country can try to come and silence that. All of this is alleged, but if it is true, it's disgusting.
I want to make sure you guys can see it. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie's hitman trained with the French Legion. This is a French Foreign Legion, 13th Brigade, with multiple state involvement. Now, again, as we dig in to who these people are, this organization, all that's going to make way more sense. She came out with this, again, I've said it before, she came out with this because you have to go public. You have to go public as soon as possible once you have this information, because at least then, maybe, let's say there is this unit, this small unit after her, at least then the unit goes, okay, we have to pull back. We have to pull back a little bit. Okay, this thing she put out there is getting 10 million views. Okay, she's gonna do a whole show about it. Okay, now our names are actually coming up, not their name specifically, but the name of their organization, of their group, of their task force. Then all of a sudden they say, okay, we have to pull back a little bit. We have to go from square one. This is not working, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe they don't, but you can't take the chance to just say, oh, I'm just gonna, oh, let me just, no, you go public right away. Now, Candace dropped this just recently, when everything is said and done, and the public learns that Macron allegedly moved $1.5 million for my life being taken, how will the world respond?
Peas fast absorbing core versus 3 Ps. Will it leak? 1 P, 2 Ps, 3 Ps. Ta-da! Huggy, snug, and dry. Up to 100% leak proof. Ultra dry.
That's about. But that
life being taken. How will the world respond? I know, way too close to the camera, but you have to understand, I have a Patreon now, so consider subscribing to the Patreon. As you know, sometimes we get attacked by bigger accounts and it puts this channel in jeopardy. On Patreon, I'll be able to talk about things.
So yeah, I got a Patreon. I gotta, go into it and get it reacclimated and all that. But we'll be able to do that on here too. I'm gonna get a Patreon. I'm gonna put the Patreon up there too.
Talk about here, and you'll have more of a link to me, just in case, like I said, they're gonna figure out this whole Philadelphia thing that I've been rolling with the past few weeks. And if they do, you'll find me over there, link in the description. And the reason that Candace is saying this, and it's such a deep thing to be saying, right? Such a deep thing to be saying, because there are so many people who do not believe what she's saying whatsoever. They're just like, this is a grift, she's making this about her, etc., etc. When all she's doing exactly what Charlie should have did. Charlie should have, imagine how crazy Charlie would have sounded if September 1st, September 8th, September 9th, he goes, or September 8th, he goes, I have a feeling this Philadelphia has a real problem with me, and I think they're going to take me out, and I think there's people around me who know, and I think something's going to happen, and I don't know what to do. If he said that, the administration would have to step in. They would have to. They would have to be like, okay, like we can't ignore something that Charlie says. We can't. Benny would have been on it. Everybody. Candace would have been on it. I would have. Everybody would have been on it. They would have been like, what's going on? And do you know how many people would be like, oh yeah, oh what a sad story. This guy's trying to. Oh, you say all these, people will say he says all these hateful things, and now you think someone's coming after you. Boo-hoo. That's exactly what people would be saying. They'd be like, this is nuts. They would say, there's no reason. What are you talking about, Charlie? But Charlie would know. He would know the timeline. he would know what he was saying in the group texts. He would know all the messages he's getting that are pretty much.
So the way that Charlie Kirk got taken out, basically, Charlie didn't really express, like he said it in group texts and things of that nature before he passed away, but he really didn't specify where it was coming from. Like he just was like, yeah, I think somebody is gonna do something to me, and it actually happened. And now that Candace feel like her life is threatened or whatever, she like, hey, they trying to get me, and she's telling you guys this stuff.
Calling him hateful, calling him anti-Philadelphia, all of these things, saying he's a Philadelphia hater, all that stuff. He would know all of that. It would all make perfect sense to him. But it wouldn't make sense to anybody from the outside. We wouldn't get it. We'd be like, what's he talking about? He's their biggest supporter. What? What do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. That's what all of us would be. That's what everyone, not me, because no pants on. I got tinfoil Speedo on right now. That's all. That's what I wear around the house, okay? I go deep. So I would be right along with him. I'd be like, okay, let's look into this. But only he would know all of those things. Only he would know about the pressure from donors. Because the people around him that do know, they're staying silent about it. And they would have stayed silent about it. So what Candace is doing is very, very necessary. And how would the world respond? It's a very good question. Now, somebody who is a lover of Candace, I mean, this guy is a huge supporter of Candace, big donor to Turning Point. I believe he has froze his donations until a proper investigation has been done. He's not satisfied with the investigation, so he is not going to be donating anymore, but he was a very big donor, and he was one of the first. Remember, I showed you a message. He said, after reviewing everything Charlie has ever said about the Macrons' France, I find Candace's info about the French involvement in passing entirely possible. Charlie even called for a 300% tariff until the charges against me were dropped. I did not know that, and I went and checked it out. Charlie actually said that. He said President should announce plans for a 300% tariff on French wine unless all charges are dropped against Pavel Dorva immediately. If Europe is going to imprison CEOs of platforms where free speech thrives, there should be stiff and painful consequences. Shout out to Charlie. Rest in peace. Always say, even today, even in his passing, still, you can find him saying the right thing that applies to today. So true. Now, I didn't know he said that. That would put him on the radar, okay? That would definitely put him on the radar. Now, just going back to this, I just wanted to give you that little background. What John Maplin, the donor, former donor, was saying, he said, I just so happened to spend a few days in France where I was informed over breakfast by somebody who I trust to be reliable that the French team was subcontracted to take out. So difficult. You have no idea. You know how many people think I can't read? I'm editing myself while I'm reading a thing. I'm thinking of a different word I could say. We are advancing into a new age of transparency. The best advice I can give to all Charlie's friends is to be as transparent as humanly possible. Their value to our world is unimaginable. Pavel, thank you for your bravery. He's saying that.
It's crazy.
The response for that man coming forward like that. And it's very true. Very, very true. Now, again, we're going to be diving into who these guys are, but I just wanted to show you these tweets because, it's all new information, and I wanted to make sure you guys get a hold of that information ASAP.
Like your boy said, new shit. That's new information.
This man, not Maplin, about the allegations that Candace is putting forth with substantial proof apparently. These kids are going to be losing their mother, and a husband is going to be losing his wife. The French government needs to be questioned. by about this by our British gov.
Hey, y'all, I'm about to make me a damn beat today, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm hungry right now. I need to make a beat, bro. I gotta get it cracking in here, bro. Like I'm getting real hungry. I need to
And
make
the
a beat
matter
right now.
raised to best. I'm trying not to use, and I think he's right. And again, for a lot of people who don't think that this makes any sense, right? As we go over to this clip here, where we have General Michael Flynn saying there's plenty of truth to these accusations, and what he was talking about was everything that was being laid out by Candace, by him, everything that's being laid out. He's saying there's plenty of truth to this, although he's not saying anything about what or how. He's saying there's plenty of truth to this, and this is a man who would have maybe not dealt with them directly, but would actually probably have to deal with them at some point in time. I mean, if you're in the military, you are going to be dealing with these people. It's not that they run things, but they're known, and you'll find this as we go into our deep dive. This FFL, and also the other one, the Grand Marnier, I say Grand Marnier, Agenda Marine Intervention Group, they're known as some of the most elite task forces. That's what I'll call them, for lack of a better term. The most elite in the world. Bar none. So I didn't know that. I'm always like Delta. Delta's at the top. They might rival Delta. They might even be a little more proficient than Delta. 100% sure. If somebody's a part of Delta out there, let me know. Don't come to my house or anything. Just send me a message on my phone. That would be, please. That'd be better. I don't want that type of smoke. I think that this doesn't make any sense. You got to remember, Charlie called Candace over what the Macron, Emmanuel, was feeling in regards to the whole Brigitte thing. Charlie called, Sergio called, the top of the top president called personally Candace. Okay? So that's what he was willing to do. He was willing to say, I need somebody to call about this. I know you want to do the whole peace thing, Russia, whatever. I know you want to do that whole thing, but I need you to make a call about this. And then when it didn't work with Charlie, another person called. He said, well, keep calling. And then he turned and said, well, I mean, Mr. Prez, I need you to call too. It's about my wife, They're saying my wife has like they're saying my wife has a dom. My wife doesn't have a dom, okay? She doesn't. She doesn't have a dom, right? We can't verify this for you, but I'm just saying, can you please make the call? That's, as a politician, is not, in my mind, it's not professional for you to do that kind of thing. Like, hey, you hear about the thing that Candace is saying about my wife? If you could just make a call to Candace, please. That's actually a crazy thing to think you could do as a politician when he was doing it, right? Really, really doing it. Then when none of that worked, had a lawsuit to keep Candace quiet. I mean, what's the next step after that? If the lawsuit doesn't do anything, and she doesn't even care that there's a lawsuit, what's the next thing? I mean, allegedly, maybe. What's the next thing? I can't get the authority to keep you quiet. I can't get law in a lawsuit to keep you quiet. What else do I do?
Yeah, what else do I do?
And again, when we dive into this, you'll see who's allowed to give these organizations that we're talking about, these task forces, a green light. Who is the green lighter of these people? Now, on top of that, Candace becomes the most powerful influence in the media today.
She definitely did, because she was like, I think they said she was the #1 podcast in the world.
This is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan gets real quiet, surpasses Joe Rogan. 100,000 to 200,000 people watching her live. It's crazy to be watching those numbers just going nuts, the chat going insane, just going nuts. That influence. And then you're talking about Philadelphia, talking about Egypt, you're talking about planes, you're pushing the boundaries beyond what anybody in mainstream is willing to do, and you're going deeper than anyone in the independent space can really go to. I mean, I just found out about this thing, and there's never been anything like this.
But once I started reacting to the channel, it was crazy because they was on some, like, I don't know, I guess they was watching about it, but Mr. Let Go, he got a great channel. He has been on this Charlie Kirk thing since it happened. And respectfully, Candace Owens, I'm pretty sure she was watching some of his videos, allegedly. Because she said certain things that he said in his actual video about the whole Truman Show thing or whatever, like how Charlie was trapped inside, a marriage that you married somebody that basically, it's like the Truman Show, we'll just put it like that.
And then hundreds of thousands of people look into it and start to piece it together and give that person the information back. There's never been anything like this. This is not how, to the people in power, they're like, this is not how this works. Dude, number one podcaster, number one wanted, number one influence.
Into Jack, sliding into his morning commute. Cool, calm, collected.
This woman comes through. She says, a national security source just told me this threat against Candace is real. Very, very interesting that somebody would come forward with this. This is Emerald Robinson. She is savage queen of Twitter, but she actually OANN, but here's the thing. Betty Johnson received threats. They had a press conference. Pam Bondi, because Benny is in Florida, Pam Bondi went to Florida. They had a press conference. They talked about how this won't stand and you can't do this, et cetera, et cetera. They haven't done this for Candace. It's very weird. It's very, very weird. And honestly, I mean, you haven't seen anybody get too worked up over Charlie. I mean, I thought I'd see more pounding, but also the admin that he's worked so hard to get into the position that they're in. I thought I'd see a lot more force from them, and you're just not seeing it. And I can tell, there's a trial going on, but in terms of information coming to us, Cash has information. He's just waiting to close the case. So it seems somebody's actually saying this source is telling this person this is real. And I have to say, I understand sources on a whole different level now. I used to really shoo away sources, but I have my own sources now. You guys are emailing me, you guys are messaging me, and there's a lot of ex-military, there's a lot of people who had, not in any admin now, but in past admins, they knew people and things, and they're telling me certain things. So I get it now. I get it why you can't just say who this is. You can't do that. It endangers the person. So that I'm going to be telling you guys about, I can't endanger anything with them either. So I won't be telling you who they are. I can't even tell you what admin they have connection to. But let's get into it. So, are we at the very top? At the very top? Let's go to the very top. So, let's get into this whole thing. So check this out. So the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, the full name, country is France, the type Elite Counterterrorism Hostage Rescue Unit, founded in 1974. Parent agency, French National Grand Marnier, a branch of the military. So let's keep on going here. What are they known for? Counterterrorism operations, hostage rescue, especially high-risk, long-range scenarios, barricaded suspect extractions, VIP protection, high risk arrest, aviation intervention, airplane hostage situations. So these guys are really, they're really well versed in all things. You have to remember, everything that I just read, they could do the inverse of that. They could, like an extraction, you think of it in the honorable sense. It's an extraction. There's somebody being held captive, they're getting them out. They can also just snatch somebody. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what they do. That it.
So that man saying they can come over here and just do what the hell they want to do, and it might be not looked into. We'll say that.
This is what they do. When you extract somebody, you're snatching. You're saying, oh, there's this person. They're heavily guarded. I'm going to snatch him. No. Just leave the door open. I'm going to snatch him, and I'm going to throw him through the door. Don't even worry about it. Keep the car running. No, just me. We're fine. And they go and snatch. I'm just saying, guys, I completely forgot that I had to read somebody who, again, they had a relative very high up in a certain administration, and that person had to deal with the FFL. Here's what they said. They said, I can't say too much, but relative was involved in Secret Service and eventually transitioned to, let's say, specific contracting, kind of like Sean Ryan type stuff, for the Gov. He would often work with both the FFL and Philadelphia Special Forces on highly classified missions. When you are in the FFL, you must renounce your citizenship to whatever country you were born into. They often work with Philadelphia and US on foreign hits, at least they did back in the 80s, and I highly doubt that's changed. Anyway, that's a tiny bit of info on the FFL and how they operate. This is just, if they include this guy telling me to not mention things. I'm just editing myself live here. Also, the FFL do not have rules of engagement and are considered the pinnacle of elite.
All right, y'all. We got Poetic just made things worse. So break it down. Shit. About to break it down, bro. I'm about to get surgical.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I'm about to get surgical with y'all, like.
You are watching a master at work.
Alright, let's do it. Poetic Flaco, y'all check his channel out, man.
Here's a savory holiday brunch recipe that stars Krusty's pancake mix. You only need 5 ingredients to make this, and you bake.
Akash finally responded back to the humiliation ritual his wife has put him through, and it's not looking good for our boys, man. This is actually a really sad story, and it doesn't bring me joy in even reporting on this, man, because I have nothing against Akash. I've learned more about Akash and his relationship and his marriage than any of us ever planned to, and that's because we were introduced to Akash's wife, Jasleen, through her podcast. And let's just say this podcast is nothing short of a humiliation ritual for Akash. It's such malarkey that I began to think, oh, maybe her plan is to embarrass Akash to the point where he embarrassed her, because like obviously no man would ever sit there and allow their wife to tell them on a podcast in front of him. There's another man sitting next to Akash on the podcast, and she told Akash, I want to have an orgy with that man because he's sexy. No man would tolerate a woman coming online and telling us
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. First off, we gotta laugh at it. Second off, if your wife is on a podcast with you, she's more excited about the man that's on the podcast or the podcast member or whoever is in there or whoever she wants to be with. She's more excited at being with you. That is not good.
That she's with him because of money. No man would tolerate his virgin wife, who he thought was a virgin, coming on podcasts and actually telling multiple stories of hooking up.
She's a virgin. Hold on. First off, she's supposed to be a virgin wife, but she coming out telling stories about like, this is horrible.
Man, getting her booty banged. I'm like at some point, she has to think, okay, maybe the two will leave me. But Akash, quite frankly, ain't getting the message. And he has tried to be supportive of her. He even responded back on Twitter when we first started covering this drama and trying to tell himself this is all jokes. He actually tweeted this a week ago when the drama first started, and it looks like his response yesterday falls in line with this. So Akash would respond back to Myron Gaines, essentially exposing his wife for being despicable. And he will say, my man out here getting triggered by jokes. How ironic. Well, don't worry about me, Myron. I got no issue putting a bit in her place, for example. Do I think Akash has ever put Jasmine in her place? Not one bit.
No.
Not even an iota.
No.
The way Jasmine is moving online, it's as if she has no respect whatsoever.
Bro, that's why you got to be careful who you get married to, bro, because who you're married to is basically a representation of you and your brand, and will your brand hurt you? That's why, even with the Charlie Kirk thing, Charlie Kirk, when Candace Owens wanted to get married to the guy she was married to, what she is married to, he asked her first, do you think it would, what is it going to do for your brand? That's a great question.
Even a woman with a moderate to little respect for her husband wouldn't do the things that Jasmine does online at all. Okay? And Akash responds last night, because he's doing his comedy special, right? His stand-up special. And the fact that he has to stop and address this during his comedy special, a comedy special is like the Super Bowl for comedians. This is like the peak of their careers. This is like something that lives in their catalog. And the fact that he has to stop and address his wife, talking about having orgies with other men, talking about getting her booty finger banged on a one-night stand with some random Blasian guy, is sad. But his response, I was told by people that was there, or not I was told, but I read the reviews online. It wasn't funny, it wasn't hilarious, it wasn't something that was like a comedic gold. No, it was actually, I was told, dark. It was sad. It didn't make people laugh. It actually goes into him ending his stand-up a tad bit early because the mood got ruined. Because it didn't really feel like he was perfectly okay with it.
So at this point, she messing up the bag. She's destroying the bag of this man, and all I can basically say is he is somebody who is going through some things that if he didn't have this person in his circle at this point, probably would be doing way better, because I I don't know if a lot of y'all know. Sometimes it's better just to be alone. Like, you don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. Sometimes it's better to be alone. Just be by yourself. Solace can bring on uh, 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 solace can bring on happiness because you get to know who yourself is.
Even though he was trying to appear as if he was okay with it.
Akash Singh addressed the drama with his wife. He's doing stand-up shows at Cobb's Comedy, and someone who was in the crowd went to Reddit and described what he said. So I went to the 7 p.m. show last night, and it was extremely awkward. He was clearly not processing the situation well, and he ended the set 20 minutes early. I only found out about his wife the day of the show, and honestly, after seeing that set basically be his therapy moment about it, I am way more suspicious of controversy than before. This is clearly something he's insecure about, even though he tried way too hard to make it seem like he wasn't. He spent the first 10 to 15 minutes of the set talking about the controversy, how his wife has been loyal to him, and everything she has been saying is just jokes.
I don't know how much I believe somebody when they say, I didn't know nothing about this drama, I just went to the show, and because he talked about it, I figured out what was going on and went online and then somehow found a YouTuber to get the full scope to. But if they're telling the truth, and this is not somebody who is drama obsessed, they had no idea what was going on, and when they got there, their first time hearing about this drama was him talking about it, and he appeared to be very bothered by it. He appears to not have a good poker face about it, and he actually seems pretty disturbed. It would make sense. Like, it would make sense that a man is very concerned that the woman who he bragged about, who he told the world about, the woman he bragged about being pure and being holy, right, and being religious and being a virgin and having that white dress on when he walked down the aisle, that woman now being viewed as the pinnacle of an absolute slur. It will bother any man, bro, especially a guy who has made it his life mission to go against the red pill, to provide himself and his life, right, as an example of how you could find a good girl if you look the right places.
Now, honestly, you can find a good woman. I mean, as a man, just statistics wise, it's more women than it is men in the world. You could definitely find you a good woman. You just got to look.
The right places, right? and he ended up with the worst possible person on earth. Now, I feel like Akash is bothered by this, and he kind of has to lie about, it just being jokes, because he really has no other remedy. Like, what can Akash really do with the situation? He can't leave her. She has already made that pretty clear. He can't leave her. Here is a TikTok of her bragging about how her husband can't leave her. Addressed to the people telling her husband to leave her.
That's what I want.
She's saying, to everyone saying my husband should divorce me, boy, do you got some things coming, right? Because guess what? Guess what? We didn't sign a prenup. That right there is her address to the people telling her Akash to leave her. Leave me, we ain't signed no prenup. This man married a mastermind, bro, a diabolical mastermind. And right now, you kind of have to ask yourself, man, like, what can he do? Like, divorce the chick after finding out what, like, her real ways after years of marriage and having to start over at 40 years old after she takes everything from him? Like, what exactly is he gonna do? And why I don't feel like necessarily bad for Akash is because this chick hasn't really hid anything from him, right? Because I was watching her TikTok where he's right next to her. Like, he's literally right next to her. And she's talking about a prenup. And when I knew I had to stop feeling sorry for Akash? During this chick's prenup, she said, listen, like, if a man asked me for a prenup, I would never agree to that.
Bruh, hey, y'all get a prenup. If you don't get a prenup, it's gonna be like, that's gonna be
if I'm getting married and I have the money, I would demand he sign a prenup or else I'm not getting married. Because he's not gonna take all my stuff. So this chick understands what a prenup is for. She understands why a prenup is necessary, but she made sure to let Akash know that if he ever asked her for a prenup, she would have never gotten married to him. And Akash sat there and watched this chick tell him why a prenup is necessary.
So she said if he asked her for a prenuptial agreement, being that a prenuptial agreement is to protect herself in a marriage, she said she's not going to marry him if he put her under those circumstances. That's crazy.
Why she would have it if she had the money, but why she would never sign his. Hence, I won't sign a prenup because I want your money when we divorce, but I would require you sign a prenup if I had the money because you're not taking my money. And he sat there and went for it.
What? Hold on. So she didn't sign a prenup, but she made him sign a prenup. This is, this is. I don't get this one.
Idea of asking a girl to sign a prenup incredibly offensive, and only one way. Like if I asked someone to sign a prenup because I had some like booming business, then I would be like, yeah, can you just sign this prenup because like I don't want to like lose all my money. But then like if a guy asked me to sign a prenup, I would be like, I would call off the wedding. Like I would literally call off the wedding.
You would have called the wedding if I asked you to sign a prenup?
Yeah, like I'm not even joking.
How can your explanation for her bad behavior be?
This is bananas, bro. Like this is crazy, bro. Like this is some other type of stuff, bro. Hold on, y'all. Let me cut my food off. I know that thing's simmering. That thing's simmering right now. Yeah, this is some weird work right here.
Oh, she's telling jokes. Y'all can't take a joke. Y'all can't handle all y'all getting triggered by jokes. When she look you dead in the eyes and tell you, I'm not even joking. Oh, man. Yo, this shit is cold, man.
I had no real ability to
But it's just like, I think it's because guys don't like, in the general, like they don't hold the same like values that women do in terms of like loyalty. In general, like I'm not saying like, you know what I mean, like.
Okay.
Like I feel like guys in general just like aren't as loyal and like guys cheat more.
You're a sexist. That's the thing.
I'm a feminist.
That's what we code it as, but you're a sexist. It's giving sexist.
Because we were watching Ranj, aka Real Housewives of New Jersey, like reruns, and like Teresa was saying that Joe had asked her to sign a prenup, and I just feel like that's like the biggest red flag. I mean, not to judge like anyone's marriage, like if your husband had you sign a prenup and you guys are happy, like, I mean, that kind of like proves me wrong, but I just feel like it kind of just to me shows like, I don't know, like it's like kind of like you're not like, your art, like.
This is crazy, bro. Like, I don't know what these dudes got going on, but I mean, to anybody who's getting married in a marriage and you want it to be based off of love, and especially if you have more than the average person, I would say prenup. Because if you want me for me, it's for me. But if you don't want me for me, you ain't finna take all my money. Like
you're already not being generous. In like as a man, you're already not being generous, and I feel like men should be generous.
She said men should be generous. What? Hold on, bro. Men should be generous.
Stop the cap. No voice.
And what
How?
should women
Be spoiled.
do? Okay. Where should they be generous?
With money.
No, where should women be generous?
Oh, like with tender love and care.
I don't think.
Well, I'm not saying I do it all.
There you go. There you go.
Bruh, this is what happens when you put your relationship on the internet. People are gonna pick everything they see apart, and when they see something that's not, when they see something that ain't what it's supposed to be, that's definitely what happens.
I do.
More than me?
Oh, yeah, more than you.
Well, there you go. We saw that. We saw that. Don't think we didn't see that.
But she laughing like it's a
When
joke.
she lies,
Like,
her mouth is like so wide open.
Like
And
it's
you
a
can probably
joke.
just imagine that she's probably laughing like that because she's envisioning like all the money she sees about to take from him, man. Like, like it's the wealth she's about to extract from this dweeb. She knows she found a lick. She knows she found an easy lick. And it's like, damn, bro. Akash has so much respect because he was one of those dudes where he was rational, he was not an extremist, he's not somebody where we can look at it and say, right, like he was just a normal average guy who had opinions that a lot of us probably agree with on a lot. But this situation right here, man, just looking at how much he got gamed up by this chick, is like, damn, bro.
And is fine with him. No one in the crowd knew how to take this information, and I truly believe that the majority of fans there had no idea any of this was going on. This only made him spending like 1/3 of the set on it even more awkward. He then proceeded to jokingly call his wife a whore every time he brought her up, which was not helping. I think
he called her a whore. Wow. The divorce papers are on the way. Divorce papers are on the way, bro. Like,
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Ruined his whole set, and the mood never recovered, which I think is why he ended early. I honestly don't give a about he or his wife's sex life, but if the orgy stuff is really just jokes, then clearly he's not cool with it and hides it. And or she's just not very funny and no one close to her has told her yet. Curious to hear if anyone else went to later sets and had a better experience. He's in San Francisco till Monday. Damn. So he addressed it for 1/3 of his set. And he's gonna go with the she's just joking route, which is an interesting route to go down. But I'm wondering, obviously him doing it on stage is going to make it awkward. I would assume people there kind of know of the controversy, but typically people, the vast majority of them who go to comedy shows are just like, hey, that guy's on my favorite cast, I'll go see him.
The wife has not had a podcast since the controversy. If they do, they're supposed to drop today, I believe, but we haven't really heard from them at all. Akash hasn't really talked about it yet on Flagrant. I do believe Flagrant has dropped the episode. I think the last episode was about 3 days ago where they interviewed somebody. Akash was actually the A-mic during that episode. So maybe that episode was still before the controversy. We don't know. But as of now, he hasn't really discussed it yet. All right. Now, Andrew Schultz is doing Brilliant Idiots, I think today, if not tomorrow. If they don't talk about it on Brilliant Idiots, then we know what it is, right? Like, if Charlamagne the God and Andrew Schultz don't discuss this Akash thing at all, then we know what it is, then we probably know, okay, like Akash has probably sent out, the ABB, hey, bro, can we not talk about this? Please don't discuss this publicly. I just want this to go away. But if they do talk about it, then Flagrant will be a pretty interesting episode, right? Because we'll see what Schultz is really made of. Now, obviously, Andrew Schultz, like Akash, loves him. But Andrew Schultz and this chick been having issues. Like, they've been beefing, for a while now. So Andrew, I think, finally gets a chance to be vindicated and finally gets a chance to say how he really feels about this chick. Because Andrew been warning Akash about this chick for years now. Years. I literally seen when Andrew and Akash started Flagrant, this chick apparently, her entitled ways started way before the internet. Apparently she was doing homework on, the studio computer, and they asked her to leave, and she got mad and entitled. They asked her to stop working on the computer so they can film their podcast.
Why am I? That was rude? Was that rude?
Yes.
Was that rude last time?
It's kind of rude.
Why was it rude?
It's kind of rude.
Was it rude? Oh God, was it rude?
I don't care. I'll do it when I get home.
Oh, you should leave it in. Sorry. Hold on.
Lord.
Hold on.
Leave it in.
Before we start, we already started, but was that rude? Was that rude? First of all, something that I learned today that I only heard in rumors prior was that Akash's girl does not like young Hezzy.
Really?
Not at all.
Really?
I felt the vibe.
I don't blame
She don't like you.
Oh my God.
She don't like you.
Why is that?
Oh, and I even gave Akash a little fake ass compliment. Remember when they were doing a podcast, and I was like, man, he waited for you. I've been trying to whatever. You know how you try to pick, promote your boy.
Yeah.
When she don't like you, ain't no break.
Hey, bro, it feels mutual.
I'm not gonna hold you. I felt the vibes, bro.
The vibes were there. But wait, was that rude when I just said we'll wait for Akash's girl? I said we'll wait as long as she needed. We'll wait.
You didn't say it like that. That's not how you said it.
But that's how I meant. How did it come out?
Get the guy. We'll wait.
It's all right, we'll wait.
That's the I will wait plus the pause. It's I will wait.
Serious pride, a need to stand on your own, or something in the streets. We call that one independence. Not wanting to feel like you depend on anybody for your shine. But casino pushed that mindset to an extreme level. Some people would rather risk everything, their freedom, their safety, their whole future, and feel like